Welcome to today's Explainer. Look, if you're navigating a divorce, or maybe you're a family law attorney representing someone who is, you already know the drill. Getting a complete, accurate picture of marital assets is absolutely crucial. But what on earth happens when that wealth suddenly vanishes into the digital realm? Well, today we're doing a collaborative investigative briefing tailored for both of you, attorneys and clients. We're going to figure out exactly how to spot those sneaky cryptocurrency red flags that are often hiding right in plain sight on standard everyday bank statements.
So the crucial point is, we really have to change how we look at these standard financial documents. A fiat bank statement? It's just the scene of the investigation. It is not the final conclusion. Basically, it's the very beginning of the digital asset trail, not the end. We can't just look at a withdrawal and assume, oh, well, the money's gone. Instead, we have to look at it like a breadcrumb that leads us right into the crypto ecosystem.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First, we'll cover the digital asset challenge, then spotting the red flags, following the money trail, the investigation workflow, protecting your evidence, and we'll wrap it all up with some free tools and resources. Section 1. The Digital Asset Challenge, navigating all this complexity. Moving right into Section 2, spotting the red flags. This is really your first line of defense. Now clients, listen up, because you know your household spending habits better than literally anyone else. When you sit down to review those bank statements, you want to be hunting for direct exchange activity and fiat on-ramps. In plain English, that means scanning for ACH transfers, debit card swipes, or wire transfers going straight to recognizable crypto platforms and payment processors. You aren't just looking for huge, alarming sums of money, right? You're looking for highly specific destinations.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what names you should be hunting for. Sure, you've got the big household names, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, and Binance US. But you also really need to keep an eye out for fiat on-ramps. I'm talking about services like MoonPay, Transact, Ramp, Banksa, or Mercurio. These are basically payment processors built specifically to take your traditional cash and deliver newly bought crypto straight to a private digital wallet, completely bypassing standard exchange accounts.
So, let's say you spot one of those names. That immediately triggers the million-dollar follow-up question for attorneys. Where did those assets go afterward? Because, think about it. A bank statement only proves the money left. It is absolutely not going to tell you if those digital assets were safely held, immediately sold, swapped for some completely different coin, or just moved off to a hidden offline wallet somewhere.
Which brings us to Section 3, following the money trail, where we look for those subtle behavioral clues.
Now, what's really interesting about this behavioral pattern is how it plays out step by step. See, a sequence of tiny payments, maybe just $2 or $3, immediately followed by a massive round dollar transfer, that is a classic telltale sign that an account or a brand new wallet destination was being tested. People do this all the time to make sure they don't accidentally send a massive chunk of their life savings into the digital abyss by typing the wrong address.
We also have to keep our eyes peeled for indirect funding. This happens through familiar apps like PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, or Revolut. Now, quick disclaimer, just because someone uses a fintech app doesn't automatically mean they're hiding crypto. But they can absolutely be used as an intermediate stepping stone to wash funds out of sight before they get funneled into the digital asset ecosystem. It's a classic misdirection play.
Real quick, before we jump into the next phase, I need to explicitly state that this incredibly helpful investigative framework is made possible by the totally free educational resources sponsored by gocrypto.org. Seriously, their support is exactly what allows us to break down these crazy complex tracking methods for you today.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into the investigation workflow. This is all about actionable discovery. Legal counsel actually uses a really straightforward 3-step review framework to turn a weird, unfamiliar transaction into a highly focused digital asset review. Step 1. Identify. Figure out the recipient, the platform, the date, and the exact dollar amount. Step 2. Document. Preserve those bank statements, native exports, and any transaction hashes you can dig up. And Step 3, reconcile. You compare that hard-documented bank activity directly against the formal financial disclosures the other party provided. Simple as that.
And clients, you can be a massive help here. You can actually turbocharge this workflow by gathering the right records before you even step foot in your attorney's office. We need complete bank statements. Please, no cropped smartphone screenshots. Gather up any exchange statements, deposit and withdrawal histories, tax forms, or wallet addresses you legitimately have access to. Because look, the more complete your initial puzzle pieces are, the faster your attorney can strike.
All right, Section 5, protecting your evidence. We need to talk strict security protocols.
We've got to set a really firm boundary right here. It is awesome to save bank statements and purchase confirmations, but you must never, ever attempt to log into unauthorized accounts. Do not sit there trying to guess passwords. And under zero circumstances should you ever try to request, guess, or share seed phrases, private keys, or two-factor auth codes. Why? Because those specific credentials grant total, irrevocable control over the actual assets. Mishandling them can literally destroy your case, or worse, make the funds vanish permanently.
Finally, Section 6, free tools and resources. Basically your ultimate investigator's toolkit.
So if you head over to gocrypto.org, you're going to find an incredible suite of highly valuable 100% free resources custom built for exactly this scenario. You'll get a comprehensive divorce asset checklist, a super handy list of client digital asset questions, a deep dive audio podcast specifically on tracing hidden crypto, and this is huge for attorneys, a records request template drafted specifically for crypto discovery. You can literally grab the free attorney and client quick reference guides right this second just by scanning the QR codes on your screen. And I want to explicitly mention one more time that these amazing practical resources are sponsored by gocrypto.org. They are completely dedicated to boosting digital financial literacy for legal pros and the general public alike.
All right, I'm going to leave you with this one thought to chew on. Are you missing digital clues in your financial disclosures? I challenge everyone watching this, clients and attorneys alike, take a much closer look at those mundane, everyday bank records. Use the frameworks, use the tools we've gone over today, and uncover the whole truth behind that money trail. Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer, and hey, happy investigating.